Can you make friends in France in university and high school? Let's find out. I experienced both high school and university in France. I lived in France from the age of 11 until the age of 21, 22. I don't know. And thing is about France, it was very different from the UK, for example, or Romania, because I'm Romanian. And I first didn't know how to approach friendships, how to actually connect with somebody, because the thing is, the first thing that you need to know is that people will not go out of their way to connect with somebody. They usually, and I'm talking from my own experience, they usually wait for things to happen, wait for somebody else to make the step, or wait for the circumstances to let the friendship happen. For example, if we're in the same class and we're sitting next to each other and we have like parents working the same thing or like living in the same area, then we're gonna be friends, because this is just circumstance. Like then we're gonna hang out together in high school, eating lunch at the canteen or hanging out after. We're studying the same thing, you help me with the homework, we're both geeks, we're both working hard, having similar grades, therefore we're gonna be friends. That's the mentality I've been faced with, and I've known going to high school and university. It almost as if connections just naturally happened, but then because it was so like based on external circumstances, because of that, the connections wouldn't last a lifetime. It was meant to end at the end of the high school or at the end of the year, university, whenever you go elsewhere. I kept contact with my former high school friends 3 times after we both graduated and ended up going in different places. But after the 3rd time, everybody was just made new friends, and then it was busy to connect with each other again, and everybody was busy and everybody was doing this and this and this, and they wouldn't like set a time apart for our group of friends to meet, you know. And that's the second thing that I want to go with, is that it happens that French people are often busy. So when you want to meet with somebody, you need to write a date in the calendar 4 weeks from now, or even 6 months from now. Like, I'm not joking. If you say let's meet next weekend, oh, I can't, I have this. If they have one thing in the day, I have dinner with my family and we need to do groceries before, like, they would not be able to meet with you, even if it's just one thing in the day. They would be able to like close an hour for you to meet, but they would rather have the whole day free when they meet somebody, maybe, or the whole afternoon. Therefore it's so hard to get to meet them because you need to plan in advance, and they will usually not cancel their plans to meet with somebody. Whereas us Romanians, or even in UK, I think it's normal to cancel plans if meeting with that person is more important. You know, meeting with somebody can become a priority in Romania. Therefore people are able to cancel their dancing class or whatever class they have to meet with somebody who's coming from another city or country that they haven't seen for a long time and they want to meet with. Whereas in France, the class, the dancing class, wherever that is a priority. Not meeting with the person. Meeting with the person is not a priority. So that's the second thing that I've been faced to when trying to make friends in France, was that, basically. And I would say the third thing, and this is just my opinion, it's my opinion as a Romanian immigrant, that I talked in another video about like high school people and like elementary school. They're not students, they're not like really taught races or really taught like more in depth to love one another, or those like kind of concepts, humanity concepts and all that. So when I was saying I'm from Romania, and I said it in the video, I don't want to bash about it or ramble about it, but basically they didn't know, they would associate Romanians with this kind of person, so they wouldn't know that I wasn't that kind of person. And you know, they kind of have a tendency to generalize, Chinese people. All Asians are Chinese in France. Welcome. Maybe that's the case in America too, probably, but no, like elsewhere, a Vietnamese is a Vietnamese, a Hong Kongese is a Hong Konger, a Singaporean is a Singaporean, a Chinese is Chinese, and it's very different from a Korean, you know. Like in other places we distinguish people, obviously not in Romania, but I think like in the UK you distinguish people more, whereas in France it's like you're Chinese, you're Asian, you're Chinese is the same thing. So they might have a tendency to generalize, for example, Latinos and stuff like that, or you're like that. And it's more rare, let's say it's possible, but it's more rare that they get along with like people from other ethnicities and backgrounds. People from other ethnicities or backgrounds usually hang out with people from other ethnicities or backgrounds. Like that's pretty much the case in a lot of places, but in France it's very visible. And in France it can be very like openly discriminatory, like as a fun joke. And I noticed that even myself. Like I met French people here in the UK, they weren't meant for UK culture. Like they can openly criticize, they can openly say what they don't like, and they might, it's just the French way to be like rude and polite at the same time. It's weird to explain, but they like to complain about stuff, but it doesn't mean, they just like to complain so they can get it out their chest, but it doesn't mean that they hate people or they don't like somebody or their work or anything. It's just they like to complain about stuff, and if you're not used to, you might not know how to deal with it, you know. So that's the last thing I wanted to say about French people. It is possible though to make friends, but just be aware of those things, and be aware that it's not gonna be easy, and people don't get attached. They're very detached. At least the people I knew, they don't get attached to another person, even if it's a boyfriend or girlfriend. They're very independent, and they like to talk, they like to ramble, but they don't get, I never saw somebody emotional or emotionally attached or feeling a lot or like thinking a lot about somebody else and like caring, deep caring for somebody, for their neighbor, for a lover. I haven't seen that yet. I see them more objective. French people are more objective and more like detached. I don't know if it's just me, I don't know if it's in the culture, but yeah, it just came out now in the video. I never even thought about it before, but it came out as detachment, and I think it's the individualistic culture. So that was all I had to say. Hope that doesn't freak you out, okay? France is a beautiful country. I'll see you in the next video.